This thing is a beast. I mean, are we even gonna be able to fit it on the media stand? Am I gonna throw my back out in the process and get carted out in an ambulance? Is it gonna light up this room like the sun itself? Well, there's only one way to find out. Hey, can you see me all right? Yeah? Good. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison, and yes, this is a very big box. Caleb used for scale. What's more important, though, is what is inside it, and that would be the Vizio P-Series Quantum X 85-inch TV. Yes, 85 inches. You don't see a whole lot of those get reviewed, and I think there might be a reason for that. At any rate, we need to unbox this thing, get it set up, take a look at it, get some initial picture quality settings, and see where this TV is going. But before we do that, commenters, yes, you in the comment section about to make fun of my clothes again. Instead of talking about that, how about you let me know if you want to see more 85-inch TV reviews. There's going to be a bunch coming out in 2021, so if that's something that you're interested in, let me know in the comments. And hey, if you're new here, please slap a like on this video so that we know if you're enjoying the content that we're putting out, and you might as well hit subscribe while you're at it, all right? Now, let's get going. All right, here's what comes in that big old box. Not a lot, a couple of metal feet, nice and sturdy, we'll need that. 2 sets of screws here, and then you get an accessory box containing the remote, the batteries, a chunky power cable, and some questionably important product info. Now for the tricky part. The top of the box says, set this flat on a flat table surface. Fortunately, there's a big piece of cardboard that comes in the box that makes that a less dicey proposition. Then we got to put the feet in. They slide in very easily, but one word of caution, don't just put one in and tighten it down as I've done here. Put them both in first and then tighten down, because you can get yourself into a situation where one of the other screws won't go in. And we're up. And I'm still standing, which is a very good sign. And the TV is standing on the media stand, which is very good. It's a BDI corridor, by the way. People ask all the time. And KEF speakers, in case you were wondering. Anyway, back to the gigantic backside on this TV. We have a power port here and a couple of speakers that you can see behind grills here. They don't look particularly huge or powerful, but we'll cross our fingers on the audio quality. And then we have our port bay here, sort of an L-shaped deal. This is where you're gonna find the usual stuff, including 4 HDMI ports. And about those HDMI ports, I don't want to get into it now, but I will say it does say variable refresh rate, auto low latency mode, and 4K at 120 Hertz on the box, but we'll dig into that in the full review. Now, let's flip this thing around. Well, we made it. Just a little bit of plastic to peel off the edges. It was a pain to peel it off, but not so much of it. And underneath those pieces of plastic are a very attractive, almost non-existent metal bezel with a really nice textured side. The feet just happen to be matte black, just like the top of our entertainment stand. So that's a bonus for us, I suppose. Really, the only thing that I am not 100% thrilled about so far is that there's no cable management available. There's no channels on the back, as you probably saw in the previous section. You're just gonna have to try and tie them together and keep them tight to the feet. That's about the best that you can do there. Now, let's turn it on. Okay, it's setup time, and you know the drill. You answer a few questions, and then the TV needs to update. And that part's gonna take like 10 to 12 minutes. What's interesting is that after it completes the update, then it wants to do 3 more updates, which is kind of confusing. And also, it does so with like a grayish screen, which is kind of dangerous, because if you're gonna see dirty screen effect, you're definitely going to see it here. And it looks like we've got a little bit of that going on, but I don't want to dig into that too much until I get to the full review. Now let's take a quick look at just a few picture settings. And I can tell you right now, this TV is super bright, and sure enough, the picture mode is bright. We can go with calibrated or calibrated dark, which is like significantly darker. Just for the camera, I'm going with calibrated here. But even with a dark room, calibrated dark looks like it starts off a bit darker than I'm used to. At any rate, I'm not going to mess with the backlight or brightness settings right now. I'm gonna leave those at default. The color temperature is warm. I want to discuss that with you. Why do we always pick the calibrated or the cinema mode? Why do we always pick warm color temperature? That's actually an entire show, and I'm just wondering if you guys would be interested in hearing about that. Definitely let me know in the comments. We're not going to worry about the local contrast too much right now. I want to experiment with that. Active full array is set at medium, and I think we start there for sure. Motion control, that's where I'm trying to get. And under motion control, as we saw on the Vizio OLED, it's set at 2. for both judder and motion reduction. So by just a matter of course, I back both of these down to 0 as I'm doing here, and that's where we're going to start off. Now, we'll dig in a little bit more for our full review and see what else needs to be adjusted, but I feel like that is a great starting point. Now, all we've really done is, so far as I know, adjusted the picture settings for this home screen. So what we need to do is pop into some apps and see if we need to make some adjustments there, and then also check our HDMI inputs. So I've popped into Netflix, and I'll just click the menu button and take a look at picture settings, and good, for at least the Netflix interface, we're at calibrated already. But let's start some content, maybe something in Dolby Vision, and see if we make any adjustments there. All right, so we pulled up a show that we use a lot on this channel. It's Ozark on Netflix, which happens to be in Dolby Vision. And sure enough, it's in Dolby Vision calibrated mode, so that's good. It could have been in calibrated dark, or even Dolby Vision bright mode, so that's good to see. But I do want to double check that the motion control has not been activated, and sure enough, it has. So we'll back those down once again, and we're all set. I would also suggest that you do this with other apps like YouTube. Go to YouTube, pull up some SDR content and some HDR content, and make sure that you get the HDR10 mode that you want. So we haven't started playing a disc yet. This is just our UHD player's home screen. We'll go into the menu, check picture mode, and again, it's in bright. So for the HDMI ports, you're probably gonna wanna check all of them individually, both in SDR and HDR. Now let's scroll down to motion control, same drill. So this is gonna be pretty much universal. You'll always wanna check the judder and motion blur reduction and bring them down. Now we can actually start the Blu-ray and make some HDR adjustments. Okay, so we've got an HDR10 Blu-ray rolling, go into picture settings. We're in calibrated mode for HDR10. And I think we all know that we're gonna need to go in advanced picture, motion control, and turn this stuff down once again. So that's the play. Just go into all of the HDMI ports that you're going to use and make sure that you get the correct settings for SDR and HDR. And then go and do the same thing for your apps and make sure that you trigger Dolby Vision from those sources that offer it. Okay, so first impressions. Well, at the risk of stating the obvious, it's big, but you know what? I could definitely get used to it. It's kind of enjoyable having that much screen real estate. And then also, it's definitely bright. I mean, Vizio states it right on the box, 3000 nits. I don't have any doubt that it's doing exactly that, but I look forward to measuring it. Other aspects like motion, color, and whatnot, I think there's a lot for me to learn there. I definitely want to spend some time with this TV to really give the best possible full review, but I can tell you that I am absolutely looking forward to it. Thanks, as always, for watching, everyone. What do you think about the Vizio P-Series Quantum X, specifically of this 85-inch monster? Leave me a comment down below. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and here's 2 other videos that I think you'll like.